There was this Taylor Swift song that went, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." And it seems like it truly is in this case. I cannot vouch for my sanity, but I never said I was. So it's not a lie. It's just a misunderstanding based on the fact that I thought that thing is past me and turns out it's not. And through that, mm, I. But the problem is that I'm too awake now to go back into unawareness and destruction, which is cruel. If from when I thought about it at the very beginning, to me, it was cruel simply from the fact that it's like when an 80-year-old person is smoking their entire life and then they consider quitting for the sake of the rest of their life, and it's recommended to them. And I don't know if it's a doctor thing or if it's a doxa thing. Doxa being the possibly non-rational knowledge, but that is still culturally embedded within society. We say, don't quit. Your body is too used to it; it will just fall apart. Um, and in this case, maybe lack of emotionality was keeping me intact, but something woke me up. And it feels cruel because maybe I would have been better off if it didn't. But it did. It's not negotiable anymore. Maybe it never was. But from the point of view of somebody I could only put into this potentially psychopathic um, self, mm, it feels odd to look at myself doing all of those pro social activities, all of the volunteering that I've done. I only recently have gone back with my memory into all the things that I've been doing back in the most intense volunteering times of my life. And good God, I was spreading myself thin and wide open to be fucking used however they'd like. Truth be told, I wasn't, lucky for me, but at the same time, I wasn't appreciated the way I would have wanted. My fault, though. I set myself up for that by putting myself in situations that couldn't have appreciated me because they didn't ask for me to show up the way I did. Now it's being appreciated. I've done two festivals in Poland, and it's been a pleasure, truly, to be able to participate. But I've been able to see it from many points of view already. And the consensus within this fuck of a brain is that this isn't yet the ceiling. Therefore, I'm on the lookout for more. Uh, if I was on the stairs up to my therapist's office when I thought to myself, the distance, the objective distance between where I've started and where I am now is hard to wrap one's head around, truly. I've come from like rock bottom and mines underneath it to jumping around on festivals for good money and in good company for a good purpose. And the fact that it's working is still a bit of a shock. And I don't know what to say about that. I'm gonna only be accelerating. But, of course, with the thought of the anti relationship crusade, because that is at this point about as important to me as my abstinence. My abstinence is not chosen because I know that I will fall into a self destructive habit if I don't do so. My abstinence is chosen because I know I avoid risky situations through it. I like red wine. I like me a glass of red wine. I like what it does to me. I'm not a connoisseur of any kind. I like the effect. Straightforwardly. But at the same time, with the way that I am, and I would not limit it to the idea of a people pleaser. I know there's more to it. With the way that I am, having the option of drinking open in social settings puts me in a vulnerable state of I will drink if I want to, but there's this chance that if I don't do, I still will, just because I feel like the scene calls for it or the setting calls for it. And so it feels actually kind of nice. I've worked the reflex out already of refusing. So it comes easy to me to say, no, I'm not drinking tonight. Or any other night, just because I chose to abstain for a few months. I think it was supposed to be from April, May, June, July, August, for about 6 months, just for the sake of it. Well, specifically, there's a story behind it, and it includes the Narcotics Anonymous community, but that's to the side for now. Point being, it makes it easy. At first, I was scared. At first, I thought, especially since I chose abstinence after a bigger meeting in the NA community, and I knew that after that meeting I was going to go to Italy, where wine and Aperol Spritz flows like water. So all of a sudden I would have to refuse that and not participate in something that's seen as the norm. And I remember a guy that I was there at the meetup with was driving us back home, because we live in the same city, and I gave him that as an argument for not choosing abstinence, and he was like, "What do you mean? It will be hard to explain." And he pulled up his phone and he put, I'm like, sorry, or maybe even without sorry, I'm not drinking tonight, into Google Translate, or I don't want to drink, into Google Translate, and he translated it into Italian. He was like, do you want to hear it? Bam. Non voglio bere. Oggi non voglio bere. So easy, eh? And I was like, no, that's not about that. It's about the fact that I would have to explain the whole NA thing, and the fact that maybe it's temporary, maybe it's not. But like, just the fact that it will be a situational nuisance. Better not. Plus, it's not like I don't want to stop drinking. But then I thought about it and I decided, why not take that risk? And quickly, when I went to Italy in the end, pretty quickly, I was accepted with my I'm not drinking. I'm pretty sure I didn't even have to explain myself. And only afterwards did I say that story, which was then easily accepted. I think one of the people who I thought would be convincing me to drink was actually one of the ones that recognized NA, the community. So they didn't even have anything bad or anything to put in the way of my abstinence. And moreover, pretty fast it became an inside joke that I'm getting a crodino or a cocktail San Pellegrino if I want to go crazy. But like an inside, it's a worm type of joke. It's a kind joke. Nope. And there's this sense of expectancy towards my order, like the usual, and it's a fucking apple juice. You get me. So it's easy. Now I just need to put it on the relationship framework. No, thank you. No, thank you. What's a relationship version of a crodino? I want a connection, non-alcoholic. Physical touch, non-addictive. That doesn't make me fall into any shitty patterns that I have a tendency for in closeness. But I need it, which is why I'm only following up on this. I've tested it and it feels good. If anything, what I feel like I'm missing is a language to express closeness without it turning into something relationshipy or sexual, because that's a tendency. But that's just because I don't understand it. So essentially, a lot of beautiful conclusions from the past weeks, I would say. Uh, I definitely know that there's a long way ahead of me in terms of learning more about myself, and that it's now my duty in order to not be an agent of toxicity in relationships, to just take that step back. It's literally the same as with drinking. So if you know you're gonna become a nasty drunk when you drink, then it's your responsibility to stop drinking. Which is why it's my responsibility to stop engaging in love. Because I know that I can't do it the same way that I could not in the past, maybe, but like alcoholics can't drink. I can't love, period, point blank, period. There's nothing to be done there. And fuck it, maybe this means a life of abstinence from love for me. Maybe. But the alternative is. Um, Whenever I start saying that, immediately the quote that goes into my head is, the alternative is an abyss, is just a hole, a darkness, nothingness. And who wants that? Which is a quote from Mom of SZA, that's in Control, SZA's probably not first, but the most important debut album. And it's probably in 20 something the song was called, because it was the end. Because then the mom finished with, and that's what I think about Control. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I know there's a long way ahead of me, but I am as myself as I could, as I've never been before, in order to face it. Mm. Which is why, for instance, I don't have makeup on right now. and you can see all that destruction that's happening on my face. It's a very important lesson, a very important one for somebody who was using physical attractiveness in order to keep people around and thought that this could be somewhat of a currency for them to stay. And if I only invested in it, then and then shapeshifted it especially into what I thought that they like, then definitely this is gonna work, and I'm not gonna morph into some kind of shade of myself. And then, since I promised that version of myself as the real one to them, then I'm gonna be forced to stay there. But luckily, I have the manipulative abilities of a fucking lawyer, so I'm definitely able to convince myself that I'm also okay with it, and I could definitely live my life by someone's side just because I convinced myself that it's good enough. How cruel towards everybody in the picture. Me and them. Me and them. Because on one hand, I'm wasting my life away, on the other, I'm wasting their life away. So, yeah. And so I'm holding on to this idea that if somebody really, 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 really wants to sit at the base of my crusade tower and wait for a miracle to happen and for me to change, then they're free to do that. I cannot reach out to meet them, even though it feels like there's something just like tearing out of me to, but it's not that hard. Come on, just one shot. It's just one shot. It's gonna loosen me up. I'm gonna be more talkative. I'm gonna be more open. Bullshit. Years are gonna pass anyway, and I need to get better. Oh, I just noticed that this plant has a very, very, very dead leaf to it. But it's a weird kind of dead. It's like mushy. The rest looks alright. That's the thing. I kind of felt like this for the past months. I've been feeling like this because everything else looks good. What's with that one mushy leaf then? It's not that big of a deal. I can just ignore it. Except maybe that's a sign that the whole plant is gonna die. And from the base, there's a sickness already inside of it. Or maybe it's just something that has to wither away and die, and the rest is okay. Both are possible in my case now. I still need to do excavations though. And I have to believe that the tops are just gonna survive. Even if it's the case that there's nothing at the root anymore and it's okay and it just had to wither away, then the ones that are healthy are gonna survive. That was here before. That the ones from the top are gonna survive anyway. And if anything, that they're gonna be questioned by some fresh air at the root. That's gonna be painful, but it's not gonna cut the leaves out, you know? It's not gonna kill them. It's gonna test them, and if anything, it'll make them stronger, and I pray that they can take it. So I pray that I can take it. And I pray that I let the mushy one go. because it has to go. Well, this was not straightforward about absolutely anything that is happening in my life right now. It's okay. This isn't supposed to be accessible. It's supposed to be real. That's what it is now. And also it's like this simply because if I don't post anything for a longer amount of time, then I find it harder to speak about the random things that are happening in the meantime, and I get overwhelmed by my own experiences. So much so that I can't really solidify a subject. That's okay. I'm not doing this for publicity. I'm doing this to just talk it out. I've been doing this for years now, actually. At some point, I've heard that Beyonce does this. But I've been doing this for a long time, really. I think, yep. My first videos were from winter of 2002. That's 4 years ago. 4.5. And they're back from a very peculiar time in my life where I just started working behind the bar. And I was getting used to it, and I was to that being a part of my life, and I was still not used to getting money for work because that was my first job ever, and I was having so much fun that it felt wrong to be paid almost. And it was still that time where I started having crushes, and oh, and then my dog died and I lost myself completely. Took me so long, took me years to get back to jokes, to humor. I could see it in the videos very well. That I just wasn't expressing that part of myself anymore from then on. Because that's important. She was the only being I've ever truly loved. There was something special about her, and I truly do believe that she's the one that taught me love. As in, had it not been for her, I would have gone full Patrick Bateman a while ago. So, sometimes I don't know if I should be grateful. No, usually I'm grateful. Just right now, I thought maybe this is not something to be grateful for. She didn't give me the tools to deal with this shit. She gave me a taste of what unconditional love can be. And I really wish I could have a dog now, but I can't with how fast and not stationary my life is. I wouldn't want to force Chihuahua to fly out Ryanair. Ever. So. All I have left is prayer over what I've already developed. And humbleness to let go of what no longer serves me, as they say. And that everything will just filter itself naturally if I finally will fucking listen to myself. Oh, and I need to learn how to respect myself also. There's been some holes in that. But nothing that can't be done. I've already started a while ago.